Welcome back, everybody, to the single-player world yet again in the big city. I hope you guys are having a good day, because I'm having a fantastic day. We've been doing a lot of stuff just around the place in this world. I've kind of got to a stage in at least the world where I've run out of my ideas in this area, at least the ideas I want to do. So I've started going around places and adding a few things in, but today I think marks the day that we have got back. And we're going to be doing some crazy cool ideas here, hopefully, in today's episode. Mainly like a starter thing where we could just kind of pull out and do what we want to do. So last episode, we were dealing with some seagulls. A little bit of a seagull problem, or maybe not a problem, but a very good thing with seagulls. And I think they look pretty cool, and it's cool to see you guys really like the seagulls, which is awesome. I thought it was a neat little thing. I'm not really against changing the textures over there. I am not a fan of changing textures in general, but I think entities can change around a little bit. So let's just quickly grab this stuff before I leave it there for too long and it bugs me forever. But yeah, what I was saying is we've done so much stuff in this area, it becomes quite a weird thing to look like forward to if it makes sense. You kind of always wanting to add something, but you got so much stuff to add, you just keep forgetting about what to add or not being able to make your mind up about what is today's thing you're going to be adding. So what I thought we would do is we'll go ahead and start off with a brand new thing over here, which is part of my fake house project, which is kind of a little bit of a silly project, and it doesn't really work quite as well as I'd hoped. So hopefully doing what we do today will work, and I'll show you a little bit around it because it's actually a pretty neat little thing. What I've decided to do is to fill up these blocks with different houses, so like blocks of houses, to fill the gap, to fill the space, because this city is huge. The city is massive already, and by the time it's done, it's going to be, oh man, ridiculously huge, and we have to consider that. So what I've done is, as we've been going along, doing our stuff in the city, I've been separating little blocks out and try to fill up the blocks like this, for instance, where we just start making it look as if people live in here, and I think this is actually doing quite well on this side. But the issue of this comes from up the top, and we might actually get a good view from over here. This seems to be the spot. Yeah. This kind of tells the story about where we're having a little bit of problem with this. So around here, all these roofs are kind of connected, and they don't quite fit well together because we've got the different colors. We've got all those sorts of things. So a little bit of a solution may come in 1.13, of course. We mention that every day, but you know what? It's getting closer by the day. We will have that very soon, and I've got some cool news with that as well. But with 1.13, when that comes around, we should be getting some more slabs and stairs, which hopefully could change a bit of our fortune there, where we can actually go ahead and start doing some different roof styles. Because right now, I guess I could use some other colors, but just with all the wood, it's just going crazy. So I want to give some things a try when that comes out. See what we have, see what we can do. But today, of course, we're not going to be doing any of those roofs. Today, we actually will be doing a roof. And I think I can maybe give you guys some cool tips on this roof as well. But what I want to do today is I want to go ahead and start off with this little piece here and see what we can do. So if you've had any issues with making walls or cool windows or just decorating walls and making curved roofs or angled roofs, sorry, I think today could probably help you, because we're going to be doing a bit of that sort of stuff today, and I just thought it would be a bit of a fun thing, change it up a bit, you know, do a few different things, because I'm going to go ahead and start off with a different thing. Bam. Doing some side things like that. I never do horizontal things like this. Very rarely. Look at that. All vertical logs. I mean, there's a horizontal one, but mostly vertical. So, bam. Starting off, not ridiculously different, but a little bit more different. So I thought we could go ahead, do this, and get our own sort of front piece to these corners, because the corners end up being some of the coolest little pieces in these buildings, and I can actually show you some cool ones that I really like when we've got this one done a little bit as well, because there's one that I've done before, and I'm not actually taking inspiration from that today, but it's one that I really do like, and I think it could be a cool thing to look at. Actually, do I want this over here? Yeah, I'll put this in line with that one, not that one. It's going in line with the wrong one. So we'll just kind of like wing it a little bit here, there. Get these out there. Ooh, yeah, I'll deal with that. You see, this was my failed attempt at it, so it's always worth a try. And perfect. All right. So with some of the cool news, this is the 1.13 news. The really cool 1.13 news is we've got a Patreon server. I'm sure you guys are aware of our Patreon server, of course. And of course, if you aren't, look down below. There's a link, and the link will take you over to Patreon, and you can find out all about it. So there we go. But what we actually, I just need some stairs here. I notice. What we are doing though is we are going to be resetting that server in the next couple of days. So people who have been interested in joining it and getting ready for 1.13. This is us getting ready for it on the server. So if you guys do want to join us on that, of course, you're welcome, more than welcome, and the link is just down below. And if you want some more information on it, of course, the Discord server is the best place to find out about that. So if you go around there, ask a question, I'm sure I'll be there around there, someone else will be around there, we will be able to answer it. And of course, that's that, of course, which is very, very exciting, because let me tell you, I've got some cool secret surprises planned for that. And I'm sure people are going to really look forward to that. So that's that. And one little thing I've been thinking about with this world, 1.13 is going to be such a big deal for this world. It's so difficult to start doing ideas when I'm just getting ideas with blocks. It's been a real bad habit to have got into, just wanting 1.13 all the time. But it's been a very tough habit because I keep thinking about things. I keep looking at stuff like, ooh, I've got a great idea for some of them trapdoors. You know what I mean? And then you start thinking about the trapdoors, and you're like, oh, well, I can't put normal trapdoors here. I can only use the others. So you end up kind of shooting yourself in the foot, which is horrible. So hopefully 1.13 is not too much longer. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, that'll be fine. Oh, and we need to do another trip. So that's been my thought, at least with 1.13. It's been quite difficult not to bank on it. You know, quite difficult not to start planning your builds and planning how your world's going to change. In fact, I've got so many things I want to change in this world, and today we're starting with one of them. Let me go fly off here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we go away like that, I'll show you what I think I have learnt in at least this whole city. Is these straight roofs, they look alright. I think they look alright in terms of Minecraft roofs, pretty good. These ones here. But the ones that look fantastic and really make this place look so much better have been these ones over here. Look at them. Those have been the big ones, the big game changers. The ones that are at a slight angle. I bet you can't even tell, right? You can't even tell that that's at a slight angle. But that's at a slight angle. Most certainly at a slight angle. It was a pain in the butt for me to make it then. I know about it, trust me. So they're all at a little angle. And that's been something I've learned, and I've really wanted to employ, at least in a lot more stuff. So I think that will be something which we will be trying to focus on a lot more when 1.13 comes around. Of course, that's not really the big deal of it, but I think that could be a cool thing to start looking into, because it's going to make our world look a lot better. Definitely a lot better. You know what I'm going to do here? How about, yeah, let's get these out. Do a little bit of a thing here, and that. Cool. So we'll go ahead and do a cool little window in the front here. I think this could look pretty neat. So something like that, just simple. Well, I mean, this is actually the roof, but well, you get the picture. We're going to be doing a window here in a few seconds. There. Sun, please don't go down that fast. I feel like these days just go so quickly in Minecraft. Specifically when I push that record button, it's all of a sudden just starts and just goes crazy. Just goes crazy fast. All right. There, and there, and step back. Check it out. That's good. I don't like that block, but that's easy to fix. That's not a problem. But what we do want to do is we want to put in a pretty cool window. And in fact, I'm going to give you a secret window. This is my secret window design that I've come up with, and I think it works fantastically. And this is actually on one of my favorite buildings as well. I know what you're thinking. Jansey, I'm just tired of flat, boring, straightforward windows. And I've tried slabs. I've tried full blocks. I just can't get them to work for me. You know what? I think you need to add the two together, and you're going to get something amazing. So let's get started on one of my favorite windows. This is like a pretty neat idea, and it's actually a pretty simple design, and I think it works really well just in general. And hopefully someone can use this and show me how cool this thing could be, because I think it looks pretty neat. It's pretty simple. Basically, all you need is, I'm sure you could actually do this in a larger scale as well, but for all what we need, at least, is, oh, no, there and there, perfect, that's good, we'll get back to that. Is really an odd number, or even an even number could even work, think of it. I'm just kind of trying to work out what it is, but it's pretty simple, right? So you put in a whole block there, a pane over there, not there, that one's wrong. This one's right. A pane over there, and they truly are being a pane, the way they work in. So stuff like that, right? This one over here. And you may be saying, that looks pretty cool already. And I think that does look pretty cool. It gives you a little bit of depth in the window, which I know it doesn't really make sense to have depth in a window, necessarily. But you know what, we're playing Minecraft. You might say, well, that's not realistic, Jansey. Well, it isn't. No. Neither is 99% of the things we do. But having this little bit of depth over there in the middle does make a great difference. Now, you know what will make even better of a difference? is a bit of depth on the sides. And that is where my windows, at least this window, is my favorite. In fact, you know what? I'll push this one block back. But that is where this window becomes my all-time favorite window. And I just love it. I love that like little bit of curve to it, the little bit of depth to it. It makes it so much more interesting than what it is. In fact, you know what? I'm busy getting rid of this one. But I'll quickly collect these. Let me just get that. Yeah, good. Perfect. All right, grab that. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, because this is going to take a bit of time to redo it, of course. You don't want to see me build that twice. It was fairly simple. Like whole block, pane, whole block, with panes on either side. Nice and easy. But there it is over there, working quite well. There is meant to be a door there. I don't have any doors on me, but zombies take them. But over there, that's what this window looks like when it's done. Nice little thing. It's got some interest to it. It doesn't quite stick out. It doesn't quite blend in with everything. It makes it its own feature, and that's what I absolutely love about this window. So, of course, if you guys do take anything away, hopefully you can take that window away and try and do some good with that window. I think it's got the potential. But while we're doing that, in fact, I'm going to make a little trip over to the nether, no, the end through the nether. And I'll show you a little thing that I've worked on a stream today, which I think is pretty cool. A nice, simple thing, but it's something that I think is cool to start doing in the world. We obviously have our very quick nether way to getting to the end, which isn't very far. That took me a few seconds, and bam, we'll go through here. Now, what I've done is I've put off projects for so long. I've just always wanted to be building, doing stuff like that, and finally, I've gone ahead and I've built in here. Look at this little end portal room. I think it looks fantastic. I just wanted to show it off. I think it's looking pretty cool. It's so simple, so like easy. There's nothing special about it. It's just a fake end in the nether. And well, in the overworld actually. In fact, the brightness moody is the one that I've been wanting to play with. You can't even see very well. You can kind of see what I've done, but not very well. So it's a pretty neat little thing, I think. Look at that. In fact, this is the brightness I've always wanted to play with. But this is just some of the stuff I've been doing, just playing around in the overall survival part of the game, which is the part of the game that I tend to forget about. I start just playing, eating my chicken, collecting my resources, but I forget about all the other cool stuff, the stuff that we've done. This farm, that there, all those chests, ridiculous number of chests, not even all finished. But these sorts of things, I've just always been putting them off, and I think it's about time we start getting to some of these things as well. Just decorating places like this as well. Very important. Getting back to this project, I think we've got some good stuff going on there. Look at that. Just a few little things, pushing stuff out, moving things around. We've got ourselves this piece here, and we've got the roof in, and I want to show you just how I do these roofs, and I think I've got some thought into it now that's definitely helping me, because before it was kind of a, you know, when you get to that stage where you can kind of do stuff, but you're playing around with the idea, almost randomly getting close to it. That's where I was at, but now I think I'm starting to get it a little bit more, and hopefully I can impart some of that wisdom as well today. It's just one of those days. Just one of those days, you know. We've got some windows we've taught you. Now, of course, some of those roofs, hopefully. But these ones here, of course, I think were the ones that I showed you, and they certainly do look pretty awesome. So what I do want to do, and finish that eventually, I guess. But what I do want to do is I want to just go ahead and add in this roof, because that's probably one of the most important parts about it. And also, we can have a look just from up the top here. This is pretty cool, at least to give you like my thought about it, right? So this is like the theory, I guess, on it, is from here, we've got this roof that's got a slight angle. One of the best things you can do is do a slight angle. When you do this 45-degree angle, yeah, that turns out not too good. It doesn't look too good as a 45-degree. When you go at this slight angle, it starts to look pretty good. And you can see I've got this one looking pretty cool. But on this side here, actually, that could be a good spot to stand up and look at. We've got zoom. That's what we got Optifine for, so we'll zoom in. So over here, this is my thought on how I do them. You can see how these come down like that, and like that, and like that, in 3 main pieces. Now, the other side, it might not have been quite as obvious that there were 3 main pieces there. Pretty much because, I mean, yeah, you need some kind of structure to it, else you get really lost in it. So you can see those 3 top pieces, but from the side, it's not very obvious. And what I've decided to do is kind of sweep up. If you have a look at these, they sweep upwards along with the grain, if that makes sense. So as they're pulling out, they sweep upwards. So from the other side, it should be sweeping up this way, right? Because it's just the inverse of this one. So I think what we'll do is we'll give it a go, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, because it's actually really simple. So I go ahead, get like this basic one with a whole bunch of stairs, and then I've got my massive amount of slabs. Look at that, slabs. That should do it. That's actually not a large amount. But I just start doing stuff like this. So we want the bottom to feel like it's pulling over that way. So we can maybe go get rid of some of these like that. Maybe some more like that, and another one. Doesn't have to be like that. It's kind of, this is still random the way you place the blocks, but really the idea is not random, I guess, is more my thought. So there we go, something like that. And then we can go ahead and get that one and do things like this. This is the way that I've at least learned to do them, and so far it's been working really well with a lot of help just from seeing what other people do, getting a few tips on it. I think this is definitely the way to go. So maybe something like that, and this is sometimes a thing where you just have to do that if you want to get the smaller ones in. So we'll do something like there. Nah, that's a bit too much. So just a few things like that, and I suppose flatten out here a little bit more. Like that. So let's go take a look from a distance, because that's always good. If you don't know where you're going, like me currently, you want to have a look at it. Just make sure you're not wasting your time, or make sure you can't improve it more. Let's get a stair. Was that not a stair? That's a stair. There. Perfect. Now that's exactly what we wanted. So let's go out that way. I don't need those. They're just clogging up my inventory. Something like this. Let's check it out. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. So if we can put that in all the way along, you'll see it'll start to hide that roof. Now you can already see that piece in the middle, not very obvious. Maybe if we get rid of that piece there, like this, I'll show you. Oh, no, didn't quite make it. Okay, give it a second attempt over there. This piece here, we can maybe go ahead and do something like that. And then this one here, like this, that should start hiding that piece. And we'll just keep it going along the way like that. Very, very easy sort of stuff. It's just a lot of this is more your feel for it, but at least that gets you on the right track. You know, it's exactly what you have to start off with the thing not quite being simple until it gets to that stage where it's a bit simple. But you know what? Leaving the simple stuff, this is just going backwards and forwards. You get the picture. We got it on this one. Let's go get this place looking a bit more pretty, because it's looking very, very dull. So first of all, I'm thinking this flower bed, which by the way I did put in. We're going to go ahead and break that. We're going to put in some of these, and this is a pretty neat thing over here, is just getting the stuff to drape over like that. I could even do something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that to make it look like it's just pouring over the edge. And of course, we don't really need to have that trapdoor there. You can kind of fill in the gap with your mind, picture it, you know. Then I guess, oh, this is a tough decision. In fact, I want this bone meal back. We can do something like that, and maybe something like that, just to make it a bit more colorful. How's this looking? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so another piece done. And this over here, this house that we're building here, it's part of this big project, I guess, that we're doing. So we're going to obviously make a door. We're going to be making a whole bunch of stuff like that, because that's pretty important to have it as well. It's important to have these houses looking like they're actually lived in. And of course, putting stuff inside is a whole nother thing of its own, which is a lot more easier said than done. Let me tell you that. But it's definitely something of its own. But it's something I've been also trying quite a bit to get a bit better at, and I think slowly but surely we are coming along with that. So hopefully we can get some cool interiors to this. I've got slabs still, beautiful. Let's do something like this. Oh no, one more up. Something like that maybe. Yeah, that's good. And then, oh yes, we got these, perfect. All right, something just sneaky in the side here, like that maybe. No, that's not gonna work. What am I doing? That's definitely not gonna work. Something along these lines here at the top probably would help us out a bit. Okay, there, like that, and like that, and then maybe some slabs, some fences on the side would look cool with a little bit of this to break it up a bit. So is that the block? Oh, perfect, like that. So let's have a look at this with a bit of fence. I think, yeah, the fence would do that wonders. Now on this wall over here, this is kind of looking pretty plain. So what I think would be good is to break this little piece up here, which will create a bit of depth, and not only create a little bit of depth, also of course, serve the purpose of breaking it up, quite literally, like that. So just something like this, which is something we've echoed through this world. To break those two pieces there, is look at this, for instance, there. This is something we've just been echoing throughout this village. Sorry, not the world. The village itself, to make it give it its own feel. This is like the architecture they use. A few little things like that, because obviously we can't really go too crazy with, like, what, a 5 tall wall. We can't go too much different to your standard sort of wall. But that could be good, because those are even. That could be good for a little bit of this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. A little bit of an odd numbered window, because of course odd numbered windows look way better than your standard even numbered ones. Kind of like that. That's not really desirable. So how does that look? Looking good. I think that's looking good. Now, picture that going along this way. We've got ourselves a very easy setup. I actually want to take, the reason I haven't done this is because I want to take that roof and make it out that way. Maybe put the doorway in here, and then we'll connect these up to a few other houses. We'll see how these go, but it's all a matter of getting the walls and stuff in before we plan out where the actual house is, which, as I say, this fake house project, it's an interesting one, and it's got a lot of things to work on, but we'll get there in the end. But for today, what I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and call that an episode. I think we've got a fantastic looking place. I want to go ahead, do some more stuff here, then we can get some gardens, get some more recreational sort of things around here. Also get rid of a bit more of the spruce, because it's just kind of clogging up the area, looking not too good. So thank you very, very much for joining me on today's episode in my world, of course. I've had a great time busy doing this stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting some other big builds out the way. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.